Hello everyone, it's Red with RDL It is Saturday, January the 8th, 2011. And we are looking at the S&P daily chart here from, I believe this is one of my favorite chartists, Ron Walker. Him and Cobra are my two favorite to look at. He does some really good charts here. Of course, his link is on my site for those of you who have not went over there. But most of you that are here know that the charts have been pretty much worthless here lately as they manipulate the market higher each and every week until we hit our final destination on the market, which is going to be about 1280 to 1290 area here on the SPX, I believe. If you'll notice, pattern-wise, though, that these little patterns here, on a smaller basis, I guess, even though they are manipulating the market up with the printing of funny money, monopoly money, as Bernanke goes crazy with stimulus, quantitative easing package, number 25 or whatever, they can manipulate it up, but patterns still show up. And this pattern that you're seeing right here is very similar to the pattern that we look at right back here at this top right here. If you'll notice, it had a very similar pattern. A large up day like this, next day was down, then a little bit of up, and then put in a tail, a long tail there, and the next day put in another long tail. This is a hammer candle. It's very bearish. And then the next day, as you can see, it must have probably, you can't really tell here looking at it, but it probably gapped up and ran up high and closed up high, and that was it. An exhaustion gap up, and then from there on it went down all the way down to here. I think that that's exactly where we're at. I think Monday's going to look like this right here, up. As it gaps up probably. If it doesn't gap up, it certainly will go up, I do believe, and run up. So you look here again, the very similar patterns right here. So these patterns still work out. And this is not the only place that you can see it. You can look back over to here. For example, you can see when you see these hammer candles, these down moves like this, and then recovering into the into the end of the day before the market is over. And then the same thing right here, a spinning top kind of indecision candle there. And then the very next day you had your positive close, which would indicate that Monday is going to be close up positive. And if it doesn't hit the upside print that we're looking for and on Monday, then it would do it obviously on Tuesday, but I think it'll probably hit it on Monday into the close, and then proceed down to sell off really hard as they will release some kind of news, I suspect, to cause the sell-off. I don't know what it'll be. I don't know if it'll be the WikiLeaks, as Julian Assange is either a dumb hero who has been bought off and does not realize that he has been used as the Illuminati leak information to him, as he is told to basically leak information out to the public about the crooked banksters at a certain time period, or he's just a bad guy and he's part of it. Who knows? I don't know. Regardless, WikiLeaks will be used. They've got too much news coverage. They're going to be used, and the news that they will release will be the cause of the great sell-off that we're getting ready to see. And very likely it'll be the one that causes the fake prints on the JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs to be hit, as they'll probably be sacrificed. They'll probably go bankrupt. So I do suspect that will happen. Now, when will that happen? I don't know. I'm speculating that possibly here on this first wave down, this first major wave down, that we're going to go down to this 106 area first. and I don't know how long that's going to take. That could take us all the way into February, right into the Legatus pilgrimage, or it could happen in the next 3 or 4 weeks if it falls hard. You know, it'd have to fall pretty daggone hard, but it could. It could do that. It could fall right into almost the last week of January, and then run up for a week or two, similar to the pattern here. It could fall just like similar to the flash crash, all the way down, and then run up for, let's see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, a week, run up for 1 week, and then proceed on back down. So that's possible, you know, that it could basically run down to almost the last week of January. I don't know if time-wise that's going to work out. This is again speculation. It depends on how fast it moves, but if it moves down all the way to that time and then bounces up into the Legatus pilgrimage date of February 3rd through the 5th, and then puts in a top there in that week, and then at that point maybe the WikiLeaks news is really, really bad. If it doesn't get released next week, then something else will be released probably to cause this sell-off. Some other economic news that you know, maybe they come clean and say, oh, well, we've been manipulating the jobs data number. That's not really accurate. Here's the real numbers. Whatever. We know they've been manipulating the market. So, but they'll release this information, as Reinhardt has, you know, keeps talking about the Legatus meeting on his site, enterprisecorruption.com. So, so I do definitely believe that it's going to be it. I don't. Wherever we go, if we go down into it, then there'll be a bounce from it. But if we go down into it first and hit our print down here at 106, it's about as low as I can see it's going on the first wave down. If it goes that far on the first wave down, I mean, we just don't know. We just know it's going to go pretty hard and pretty fast. It may not go that far that quick. It might just go down to, let's say, here, and that's the last week of maybe that's the last week of January, and then it bounces up into the Legatus pilgrimage February 3rd, 4th, and February 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then takes another move on down after that to the 1060 move, 1060 area. But I'm expecting the 1060 area to be hit for what I would just call this major wave 1 down, and then I would expect to bounce from there up to wherever I do not know, and then a later move on down to 8,300 on the Dow, about 885 on the SPX is where I think our target is. So that's this on the daily chart. Looking at the weekly chart, obviously on a weekly basis, you can see we do have good support right here at the, let's see, this here cross is very good support. This bullish cross, it's funny again how this crosses right when the market tops. You know, very similar to here. You know, it was crossing bullish here. Well, no, that wasn't what I was thinking. What was the thing? Oh, I'm sorry. Here, this one here. It was crossing bearish here, and that's right, pretty much about when the market reversed and went back up. Now it's crossing bullish again, and that's about when the market is going to top and just roll back over. So it's kind of funny how they're lagging indicators, but everybody gets excited and say, oh, well, it's a new bull market. You know, we got the 20-day moving average crossing over the 200. No, that really is the death cross for the bulls, I believe. So we're not going to 13,000, gang. I just, you know, I just don't find that happening. So anyway, I'm thinking we'll go down here. We'll probably hit, probably by the time we go down, you know, 1, 2, 3 weeks, we could be in this 1150 area range right here and hit this 50-day moving average maybe for a first bounce. And, you know, that's possible. And then maybe a bounce and then a wave 3 or something on down to this 1060. But I do expect this 1060 to be hit. That print was shown to us several months back, and I do expect it to be hit. So, and that print is here. Let's see, right here. As you can see, 106.46. And this was back on 10/18, 2010, October 18th. I do expect it to be hit on a move down. I just don't know when, of course. Now, as for Monday, if we look at the 60-minute charts, you can clearly see they are rolling back up. I do expect this to run up here. Again, I suspect that we're going to probably gap up above this trend line that we fell out of, this major support trend line from 1173, and pop up into it and make a run up and take out this area right here, this top. So we'll probably pop right, I would estimate, right at that level at the top right there, and then just probably just maybe a hair even above it, so that basically you clear it. You clear that 1278, 1276 level. You jump over it, and it would also put you back into this trend line, and then you proceed on up to the 1290 area. Could be as high as 1300, but it could hit this line right here. But regardless of where it goes, it should line up with the Dow and the Diamond 118.12 print. Is where we're going. And then once that's it, folks, I think we're going to roll over, and next week should be ugly if we hit this print, we hit this upside print. This should break. The dam should finally break, and we should just head on down. So obviously, if it does gap up, what's going to happen, what would make sense here by looking at this is the 15-minute chart. If it gaps up, 15-minute chart's going to have to roll back down, which would basically, just guessing at this, if you gap up to here and you're already way overbought on the 15, you're probably just going to have to hover sideways for a while to allow the 15 to roll back down and to kind of recycle back up to get its next move up. So I would kind of guess, roughly looking at it, that you'd go up, go up real quick in the first 10 or 15 minutes or 30 minutes and peak out really quick here on this 15, and then the rest of the day probably trade sideways into a bull flag, and maybe if this thing resets and dips back down, doesn't have to go below zero, but if it does, then it does. But if it goes below zero and resets into the close, then that would give you a final lunge up into the close to hit whatever level they're going to hit, an exhaustion gap up, and a run higher into the close. If it does that, now it might just hit it right off the bat, but if it doesn't go up and hit or target right off the bat, then look for it to happen into the close. So I look for it to close positive. We go over here at Cobra's charts, and he's it's an old trick, but it works sometimes. But he's saying one of the tricks is when the VIX and the SPX close in the red 30 out of 45 times, 68% green day the next day, and certainly they did do that. If you look here, the negative close here on the SPX and negative close on the VIX, indicating extreme complacency in the market as the bulls just are sitting back in their easy chairs, smoking them a Cuban cigar and having the hot-looking cat, or not calves, but the hot-looking heifers. Heifers. How do you get a hot-looking heifer? Doesn't the term heifer mean that they're overweight? A female cow. So a dairy cow that they're running around and serving them margaritas, not margaritas, but I guess they want some beer or something. Who knows? Shots of liquor. Who knows what the bulls drink? But I think it's going to be the last cigar Monday or Tuesday. I think it's going to be Monday. I think that's it. I think we're going to hit our target Monday. I'd be shocked if we don't. Let's see, if that's 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart. Of course, if you ran up real high, gapped up, obviously 5 minutes going to have to go down and reset itself too. So you'd kind of expect the 5-minute chart and the 15-minute chart to reset themselves to allow into the close the 60-minute chart, because obviously it's going to gap up here. You want it to go up all day long. That's what we're looking for, to go up all day long and give it that final push into the close. So again, like a possible gap up, then it's sideways trading, and then up into the close. If these charts work out like this, it's hard to guess them, but that would make sense. Basically, is you go up and get this thing overbought again, allow it to run down here, recycle back into negative territory, but actually trading sideways. That's where you get the bull flag. So it's not falling as this is falling, and then this would reset on the 5-minute chart the same way the 15-minute chart would dip down. It may go below zero, it may not, but obviously once it goes up, it's going to roll over and roll back down, and it might do like one of these where you get two humps to it. They could be equal humps, or one could be smaller. Usually when you put in a negative divergence, it's a smaller hump. So you go up really high here, roll back down, but don't make it to zero, and then roll back up for a second hump. And that would kind of indicate more like what the 5-minute chart, where it would pop up and finally roll back negative, dip down below, and then pop back up to give it some extra strength. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, is pop up, possible sideways trading, then pop up further into the close out the day positive, hitting or print. Whatever level this is on, I do not know what it's going to be. 1280, 1290, possibly as close as possibly 1300. But you're just going to have to look at the DIA, the Diamond Spider Trust, and look for it there to see when we hit the 118.16. That's when I'll be going short. For those of you who want to continue long, good luck to you. I won't be. I've been setting out the market here, waiting for this print to be hit. I've seen how this game is played. So, okay, so that pretty much covers that. This is the final countdown, no question about it. A little 80s Europe hair band for you. Pretty cool band back there in the 80s. I actually had bought this CD by the way, and it was pretty good. I liked it. I was an 80s fan. What can I say? I'm a Bon Jovi and Def Leppard and Great White and White Lion and Queensryche. Oh, if you want to listen to somebody who's smart, he wasn't really 80s, more like late 80s, early 90s. But Queensryche is someone who wrote about the evil and corruption in the system. And tells stories from start to finish. Their Operation Mindcrime album will tell a story. If you listen to it or read the lyrics, it'll tell a story from start to finish. All 12 songs, or how many songs there is on it. And it's a pretty interesting story about evil and, the government and, the corruption that's in the system. So I think the Bulls are almost here, folks. They're almost at the top, and this is what they got to look forward to. So one other thing I wanted to go over, as I was writing this post, I seen that Congressman Gabrielle Giffords here was shot by some poor, helpless 21, 22-year-old kid that was absolutely clueless, that I would bet you 10 to 1 was taken and brainwashed and programmed to go and shoot this woman. I highly, highly suspect that the Illuminati is behind this, that they want her dead because she is a good person. If, that's the way it is with all the good people out there. They kill them. They eliminate them. They shoot them, assassinate them. They tried that with Ronald Reagan at one time. Obviously, Ronnie Boy must have got tired of playing their game. I know he was part of the good old boy club at the Illuminati. I mean, the Masons, Freemasons, and the Illuminati. I mean, he was part of them, certainly. But I liked Ronald Reagan, so it doesn't mean they're all bad. I mean, there's certainly people that inside the Illuminati that are good, that were just born into it and have to play the game, but still are good people. And then there's the ones at the top that are just pure evil. Ones at the top that are pure evil, of course, would be the Rockefeller family and Vanderbilts and Rothschilds and all of them, George Soros and Warren Buffett and all these gangsters. So you can pretty look that much up yourself. I believe they had something to do with this. I believe they brainwashed this kid to go and shoot her. Just because of that, I didn't know her other than this, because She's, you know, I'm in Florida and she's in, what was it, Arizona, I believe. She's a congressperson out there. So I don't know, you don't know her, but that's okay. I do know her now, and I do believe she's a good person. Everything people said about her, she is a good person. So if anyone has a link to her website or something that I can put up, some type of link to it to support her, maybe for all of you that watch this, if everybody could you know, chip in and donate $5 or something. You realize that I have about 1,000 people that read this blog on a daily basis when I put up these posts. So if everybody chipped in $1,000, I mean, I'm sorry, if everybody chipped in $5 on a PayPal account to her, I don't ask for nothing for me, but for her, if they did, you know, you'd be supporting a good cause, I do believe. So let's hope she runs for president and not Sarah Palin, who, by the way, put up something on her Twitter page with a crosshairs or something on this woman, indicating go take her out. So Sarah Palin, here's the bird to you, baby. I'm flipping you the finger. You sit on it and spin. Sorry to be rude to you ladies, but anyway, I don't like that kind of crap. So support her. I will put up a link to her. And if you're wondering again about WikiLeaks, and I put up some new banners here. One of them is WikiLeaks. Do you support or condemn WikiLeaks? So for those of you who like to take surveys, hey, go take a survey. It says here you can get something for free. Take a free survey. And same thing here with the economy. With the economy improved, I'm trying to get these ads a little bit more specific to my market here of those that read it. So, you know, it's again a free a tour that you would just a survey. I believe these are just surveys, all they are. And do you support the Tea Party movement? I certainly do, and I don't support violence or anything like that. That's what Glenn Beck is trying to do, is throw everybody into these Tea Party demonstrations and throw out evil and say that they're all evil. Don't believe into that. Glenn Beck is a paid puppet, folks. He is paid by Fox Media, who is owned by Soros and Buffett and all the gangsters, Rockefeller. I mean, all of them. They're all part of it. They pull the strings and they tell him what to say, and he is just a puppet. Pay no attention to Glenn Beck. So far, I see no reason not to support Alex Jones. I believe he's telling the truth. Doesn't mean he's not getting bad information from time to time, but for the most part, I like him. He's a good guy. He seems to be straight up. So I do support him. Of course, you know I support Ron Paul. And this, I just put it up because I grew up. I'm not that old, but my mother liked Elvis a lot, so I just kind of thought that was cool. Anyway. So gang, that is it. We are looking for the print to be hit, and then I'll be just getting short and hoping for the best. Those of you who want to stay bullish and ride it up to 13,000, as I quoted right here, I have some Viceroy tulip bulbs for sale. They're only $1,250 each, and they are originals from 16th century Dutch land, one of a kind. So just let me know how many you want. I'll be happy to sell them to you. Okay, gang? So good luck. Send your prayers. If nothing else, no matter what I talk about aliens, I do believe there is a God of some type out there, superior life form, folks. God source, the aliens call him, or you know, prime creators, another name for him. But all the aliens are saying the same thing. There is a living being out there that is superior, and so prayer does help. So, you know, we should all pray for this woman to survive the night. The last reports that I've seen, she was recovering, but in critical condition. So let's hope that she does recover. Okay, gang, that is it. I will see you all Monday.